Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Pep Talk. This is David Feeks. I'm the owner of the Parents Estate Planning Law Firm. Thank you for joining me this morning. This morning's topic is how an estate plan can save you money. So we'll talk about that, and I think the best way to understand how an estate plan saves you money is really to understand how not having an estate plan can cost you money, or maybe more appropriately, cost your family money. There's three different ways that not having an estate plan can cost you or your family money. The first is that if you don't have an estate plan and you die owning assets in your own name, your house, your bank accounts, your investment accounts, those assets are going to have to go through a time-consuming and expensive probate court process. A court is going to have to get involved to retitle the assets you owned at the time of your death into the name or names of the people who are supposed to get those assets, your heirs at law. Even if you have a will in place and you own assets in your own name, those assets are still going to go through a probate court process. At that level, the court is going to supervise the transitioning of assets from your name to the names of the people you've named in your will to receive those assets. But either way, a probate court process is a time-consuming and an expensive process. In Massachusetts, probate involves a host of potential costs. There are filing fees for the court. There are fees for the probate process. There are accounting and appraisal fees regarding the assets that you left behind. There are legal fees to get this whole process underway and completed. If you have minor children, the court will need to appoint someone to manage assets for your kids until they're 18 and old enough to receive those assets directly. And those people, who coincidentally will probably be strangers to your family, those people will be receiving a fee for managing the money for your kids. In general, in Massachusetts, we estimate that the potential cost of probate can be anywhere from 2.5% to up to 5%, sometimes more, of the fair market value of the assets that are going through probate. So think for a moment about the value of your house, the value of your bank accounts, your investment accounts, and how much 2.5% to 5% in fees and expenses would be. And then imagine that money walking out the back door. That money is not available to your kids. It's not available to anybody else to be used for the benefit of your kids. It's being used to pay people you don't know to do things that aren't particularly important to you. So that's one way that not planning in advance can cost you money. Another way that not planning can cost you money, especially in Massachusetts, is around estate taxes. Because Massachusetts has its own estate tax. There is a federal estate tax, but most people aren't implicated in the federal estate tax because the exemption amounts are so high. Currently $11.4 million per person. But in Massachusetts, there's a separate estate tax that kicks in at just $1 million. Most young families, because of their life insurance, the value of your life insurance, rise over that $1 million threshold. It's a filing threshold. So if you think about the equity value in your house, your bank accounts, your investment accounts, your retirement accounts, and then think about the face value of the life insurance policies that you or you and your spouse own. And if those are more than $1 million, then you are subject to estate tax in Massachusetts. So let's say, for example, you're married and you and your spouse all in with your life insurance. Let's say you've got $1,010,000 and you're just over that threshold. The potential estate tax in Massachusetts then is $39,000. So in addition to the probate cost, now you've got another $39,000 that's, again, potentially walking out the door, that's not available to your kids, can't be invested to grow over time to be more for them, that's going out the back door straight to the Department of Revenue in Massachusetts to do whatever the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is going to do with your money. Build potholes, fix MBTA locomotives, whatever it is. So those are the first two ways. The third way that not having a good comprehensive plan in place can cost you or cost your family money is if you are disabled. If someone needs to make a legal decision for you, if somebody needs to access a financial account that you own and you're incapacitated and you can't do it yourself, people aren't going to be able to just walk into the bank and access your bank account. Not even your spouse is going to be able to just walk into the bank access a bank account that's just in your name. If it's a joint account, that's different. But if it's just in your name, your spouse isn't going to be able to access your account if you're incapacitated. Bank officials will very politely, very kindly say to your spouse, you need to turn around, walk back out, and go get a court-ordered conservatorship. And again, that's time-consuming and that's expensive because now your spouse or your family is going to be dealing with that probate court again. So let's flip this all around and say, or really ask the question, what if I had a really good plan in place? How could a really good plan save me money? Number one, a really good plan constructed the right way, with your assets owned in the right way, could eliminate that probate process altogether. Your family would not have to deal with the probate court for and around your assets if you've got the right comprehensive plan in place. So no lost time, no wasted time, no money spent on things like filing fees and publishing fees and accounting and appraisal fees and legal fees and executor fees and trustee fees and bonding fees and the fees for someone to manage the money for your kids. So think of all of that money saved and think of 2.5% to 5% of the value of your assets, which for most people is somewhere in the neighborhood of tens of thousands of dollars. So now imagine tens of thousands of dollars that is preserved for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of your kids, that can now be invested for your young children to grow over time. Think about tens of thousands of dollars in a 529 account for your kids by the time they go to college. Now you're talking about real money that can really help your family. If you've got the right comprehensive plan in place, you can either eliminate that Massachusetts estate tax up to a certain level, or at the very least minimize it to the greatest extent possible. So if we go back to our $1,010,000 example with that $39,000 tax bill, with the right plan in place, if you're married, you could zero out that tax bill. Now, suddenly, there's an extra $39,000 that's still in your plan, still in your family, still available for your kids, still available to be invested over time, to be more for them. If you are disabled and you've got the right plan in place, your spouse or members of your family or whoever you choose would be able to step in immediately and be able to do things like access financial accounts, sign legal documents, make legal decisions for you, make medical decisions for you without needing to go to court, without having to get a court-ordered conservatorship, without dealing with that time-consuming, expensive court process. So that's the ways that a good estate plan can save you money. It's got to be the right estate. Far too often, people who come in for me to review their existing plan, and I'm still having your plan is going to cost your family a fair amount of money if you die, because they don't have things set up the right way. So it's not just any plan that can save you this money. You got to have your plan set up the right way. And of course, in our firm, this is what we're doing all day, every day, is helping families set up the right plan so things are as easy as possible for their family, things are as efficient as possible for their family, and things are as inexpensive as possible for their family, so that all of the money, all of the assets that you have spent your lifetime working for and saving for will be there for your family when they really need it the most. So I want to just wait and see if there's any questions that have come in and see what questions we need to answer. Just before we get to the questions, I just want to add one more thing here, because we've been talking about taxes, but one of the more common questions I get asked as an advisor to my clients is, do you know a good professional that we can talk to or I can talk to? You know, a lot of our clients have been doing their taxes on their own for a long time, and once they're kind of getting everything together for the purposes of getting their estate planning in place, they realize that time is more important to them at that point in their lives than even money is to some extent. And it would be a lot easier just to hand over their taxes or have somebody that they could turn to ask tax questions. So if you don't yet have a good tax advisor, if you need a tax advisor, would like a tax advisor, reach out to our office and we're happy to make a referral to you. A referral to people that we know, that we trust, that we work with ourselves, that we know will take really, really good care of you. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to our office. for a referral to a tax professional, a CPA, or really any kind of professional. We know lots of really, really great people that we know will take as good care of you as we would ourselves in the office. So now I want to wait. Let's take a look and see if any questions have come in. I'm looking up in the chat window, not thing. So that's it for how estate planning and how a good estate plan can save you money. We are recording this. We will send a replay to you, so look out for that. And we will see you again next time for our next pep talk. Thanks for joining me this morning, and I look forward to talking to all of you again really, really soon. Take care, everybody.